Hello, hockey fans of all ages, shapes, sizes. One free agent for every NHL team. Anaheim Ducks, Matt Zuccarello, Troy Terry's out till the new year. Boston Bruins, Lars Eller, veteran center depth. Buffalo Sabres, Sergei Bobrovsky, 20 mil, 4 years times 5 mil. Calgary Flames, Peter Mrazek. Carolina Hurricanes, Jacob Trouba, $40 million 7-year deal to beat up Florida. Chicago Blackhawks, Eli Tolvanen seems like the perfect right winger for them. Colorado Avalanche, Anders Lee reuniting with Brock Nelson. Columbus Blue Jackets, Anthony Mantha, Marchenko Insurance. Dallas Stars, Sam Lafferty, 3C behind Rupe Hintz. Detroit Red Wings, Stuart Skinner, he's out of Pittsburgh, and he'll be ahead of John Gibson as the backup. Kosa traded at the draft, so that revealed their hand there. Kane's rumored to be leaving, so let's grab Carl Grundstrom on right wing. Edmonton Oilers, Carson Soucy, left-handed D, huge, 6'5". Nick Jensen, right-handed D, 35-year-olds, very mean. And then let's go with the vet, Jonathan Quick, one more year. Alarming stats for guys returning in their final season as NHLers winning the cup in their final retirement year. Anyways, I did that like 3-4 years ago when I first started. Florida Panthers bringing back Radko Gudas to torture the Leafs. LA Kings, Kevin Hayes 2C behind Byfield. Anze Kopitar retiring. Minnesota Wild, Brandon Saad and Riley Smith, depth scoring. And Montreal Canadiens, Danton Heinen and or Adam Henrique for 2C. Nashville Predators, Rasmus Anderson, 10 plus mil a year. Long-term deal, Yossi's 36. So he'll need to be eventually retiring. New Jersey Devils, John Carlson makes the most sense there with Simone Nemec traded. New York Islanders, Oliver Bjorkstrand. Patrick Laine likes big markets. He needs a big market. New York Rangers. Philadelphia Flyers, Sonny Milano. Pittsburgh Penguins, Freddie Anderson. Skinner's leaving. Let's sign Victor Arvidsson on the wing. Ottawa Senators, Claude Giroux's coming back as the captain for a final year. San Jose Sharks, bunch of guys, my favorite team. Luke Shen, Jamie Alexiak, shout out GD, Jason Demers for a lot of these guys. Ryan Shea, Andrew Peak, Arbor Jacki, RFA. The Kraken are going to get Mario Ferraro on a similar Trouba type deal, 7 years, 40 mil. And they'll probably sign whoever San Jose doesn't in Nick Leddy or Klinger. St. Louis Blues, Scott Lawton at center, and Eric Holla on the wing with Kyrou being gone. Tampa Bay Lightning, Eric Goodbranson, right-handed D, veteran. I think he's 34 years old. Toronto Maple Leafs, Patrick Kane, Showtime, loves the big spotlight, especially in Canadian markets. He grew up playing in the CHL for the London Knights, right down the road, a stone throw from Toronto. So let's see him going there. And power play, him and McKenna, feeding Radish with Matthews, maybe behind the net or a bumper or like feeding or, in the slot, etc. That's super exciting. Utah Mammoth, Cam Talbot is going to go sign there. I think they need a solid veteran to kind of get them out of the first round in the playoffs. Vancouver Canucks needs veteran centers. They're going to go for Boone Jenner, Canadian guy. Perfect city, rejuvenate his career, come to Canada and play. He's been an awesome captain, veteran to guide Caleb Malhotra along the way. I'd probably sign him until retirement, honestly, bring him into Vancouver and say, hey, we're going to be competitive in 5 years. So yeah, you can enjoy it here. It's an awesome city. Buy a place, hang with Brock Besser, etc. Or else, I don't know, you can go on all these 1-year deals to try to chase a cup. Your choice, right? Vegas Golden Knights, speaking of Vancouver Canucks, Andrei Kuzmenko potted 39 goals in his rookie season. He's been not a ghost, but like really erratic ever since. It's never been a good fit. I thought of him possibly returning to Vancouver, so that's an opportunity possibly. But I have him as a drop-in power play replacement for Pavel Dorofeyev, who racked up tons of goals last year. So, yeah, let's get Kuzi back to the 30 goal mark again. I think Vegas and their structure and their veterans and Marner as a playmaker, I think they can get him back where he needs to be. Washington Capitals, Ovi, the Russian machine, is coming back for 1,000 lit lamps in the NHL. In the show, I still would love to see him in San Jose with Mac or Will Smith setting him up. I think he's got a better chance, but there's two trains of thought here. They're bringing all these right wingers in to impress him on the left wing and to feed him and entice him to come back in Washington. But I don't know. It seemed like he was really close to John Carlson, and I definitely see Carlson with the Devils. They love their tall right-handed trees, and like I said, Simone Nemec being traded. So I don't think he might reunite back in Washington. That's another possibility. But yeah, I mean, I see Ovi coming back for one more season or just retiring because, like, honestly, I think he should sign 2 years with the Sharks. This is what I'm lobbying for because the Sharks have the cap space to give him 10 mil. Like I said, Mac and Will can just feed him. It's really a matter of pride, I think, for him and playing for one team. Like, I think Sid Crosby, like a Lemieux, wants to be a one franchise kind of guy. Dylan Larkin obviously is not going to be a one franchise kind of guy. Poor guy. I don't even have him on my list because he's got like 5 years left on his contract. That fellow's going to be in purgatory. So hopefully somebody will step up and trade for him. But we're just talking free agents here. And yeah, I think Ovi, the logical, probably, 50-50. He goes to the KHL. Maybe if he's in the NHL, 25 to 45% he goes back to the Caps, but that slim little 5% chance that he wants to do something new, kind of like Patrick Waugh late in his career or Ray Bourque, both went to Colorado, so maybe Ovi to Colorado. That'd be kind of freaking insane. But anyways, I think San Jose would be fun. He's got his boy Orlov there. So I keep thinking, like we need to get Tom Wilson over there to get the and then McDavid, get the Celebrini McDavid Tom Wilson line. Yeah, right. But I see the window opening up. I've kind of mentioned this 2 year window to see what you got with Misa and Stenberg, and you're going to just be throwing cap up to the ceiling at that point, and you really got to know and what you've got. And yeah, like, do you need to make some trades at that point? I think one or two guys away, or a UFA signing like McDavid. Matthews has roots. He was born in San Ramon, I believe, right near in the Bay Area, which is kind of neat. I don't know. We'll see. I think San Jose is going to be an absolute force. And obviously, Verhoff and Lynn, they probably need a couple years to ripen up. I still think Musty and a few of these other guys are going to be absolutely phenomenal for the Sharks, even on like the third line. I've always said how important the third line is. And, Celebrini's always going to do Selly type things, but there's got to be guys shadowing him in the playoffs and, matching him and Smith. Like maybe they'll do the Will Mac and separate those guys like Draisaitl and McDavid in the playoffs and, run their own line, play make a little bit more so you cause a team to really thin out their lines to match you. And then that key third line, like maybe it'd be crazy if it's like, Sherwood Toff maybe makes a lot of sense through the season, but maybe even elevate those guys who are like more playoff hardened in the playoffs to like line two with Wenberg, and then like that's your shutdown line plus scoring, and then you put Graf or Chernyshov on the third line. Anyways, totally off track here with all this San Jose possibilities, but you got a 2 year window, and then I think in the deadline at the trade deadline next season, you got to decide like who's going to be on our roster going forward and make some trades at that deadline. And I think a lot of these UFA signings or potential signings, I spent several hours, and I kind of want to, close the laptop for the summer on hockey and just kind of see what happens at the July 1st. Happy Canada Day. And then July 4th, happy Independence Day for the Americans out there. Anyways, the last one, sorry, I don't want to forget, and then I'll just call it. Winnipeg Jets, since Taves is retiring. Great story there. Calle Yarncroc or Nola Chari are great depth centers that I could see signing in Winnipeg. And then kind of a wild card, Vladimir Tarasenko. People are saying he might go to the KHL to play, but he loves cold weather markets. So he played 1 year in Florida and didn't play that many games. And, I don't think he liked it, but like he's always lit it up in like the coldest places. Like he's a Ruski, right? Like very similar to Canada type weather. So I think he would thrive in a Canadian market. Even, Patrick Kane, and like if the Leafs try to sign him or give him a deal, go to Toronto, right? I know the Russians love Toronto too. It's like, or Montreal is another spot destination for, foreign players who, want to make because they know the fans are just crazy for the Habs and the Leafs, right? Like being the top original six franchises in the league. And then, I think he's already done Ottawa. He did very well there. He did great in Detroit too, like Minnesota, cold weather, cold weather, cold weather, St. Louis Blues, cold weather. So I could see Winnipeg Jets trying to grab him if they can. So that's my list of UFAs. I guess I said one per team, but some teams multiple. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I guess the last one I could say is who also needs Utah Mammoth. I mentioned the goalie Cam Talbot, but I could see Mario Ferraro potentially signing there as well too. He's like loves camping in the mountains and stuff like that. So I think Seattle would be a great city for him, honestly. Sign a long-term deal there. And I'm in the summer in Ontario with family and friends and stuff, but I intend to be back in Vancouver, and I hope to go to see a bunch of games in Seattle too. So maybe Ferraro will be there, and I can cheer for him on that team. Anyway, I think Seattle Kraken is it's going to be an exciting market eventually. They're not at the level of like a San Jose or Montreal, but I think they got to really put the pedal down to the metal and really try to sign a few UFAs here and get their team to be a little bit more exciting. Okay. Anyways, happy Canada Day. Yeah, I don't know how many videos I'll do through the summer, but maybe kind of a reaction after July 1st. But I don't know. I'm just I love hockey so much, but I'm a little bit sick of it right now. Just kind of watching all these prospects all year. San Jose had a smoking draft, so their team is going to be a cup contender, absolutely no doubt, in 3 years. And if they sign crazy enough blue line, they might, win the division or even go all the way to the conference final this year. I think a lot of that is just dependent on what veterans you can attract to the area and kind of, push the excitement forward. But if I'm San Jose, I'm trying to sign a whole pile of veterans this summer who are seeing the excitement with Celebrini and Smith and all the prospects and saying this is a place to be. I'm not doing any deals more than 1 or 2 years. And I'm just saying, hey, we're going to take this team for a ride. And I'm probably trading for, veterans or, exciting kind of guys around the trade deadline. And I'm giving up picks for next year. You like a guy like Tom Wilson, 2 third-rounders. You like, like a Werenski in next year or something, and they like haven't traded him yet, and you can grab him for like a first-round pick or a couple of your next first-round picks or something. Just trade futures. That's what I'm doing for San Jose. I think their rebuild is complete. You have a great prospect pipeline, and I'm willing to give away almost all my futures going forward here if I'm San Jose and just saying we're locking in on our guys. we're open to trade futures for upgrades at a position level. But we're set. We're set for the next decade or so. And I kind of shout out to San Jose Hockey Now. And they had JD on. I was talking about that. He was right about Kesselring, and I love the guys that he mentioned for the Sharks earlier. And I think that yeah, like San Jose, I agree with Dan Boyle on don't rush it. And I agree with Shang to a degree of like sign as many veterans as you can to make this team push into the playoffs and go this year, and just kind of do what you can to upgrade at positions. But I'm not saying like trade assets and pieces for like a Werenski right now. Hard name to say. Where Ensky he going? Yeah, just I wouldn't trade for him right now. It just doesn't make sense. You'd have to give up Sam Dickinson, and it's just like that guy has such a huge ceiling that you know, in the future, in 2 years, if they're kind of handcuffed and they know he's leaving, like you probably won't even have to trade a Sam Dickinson. You could try like Luca Cagnoni the next couple years if he has potential, but you haven't seen his ceiling yet and he's not running the power play. And you want to trade maybe Cagnoni and Selene Wallenius or something for Werenski. You don't have to trade Dickinson, who, to me, logically, a team should look at, and this is the last thing I'm going to say. When I'm looking at some of these trade prices, right? Like when you're going for lottery tickets or whatever, like in picks, I could see that being like a really high price. Like the whole Byram fourth overall pick, yeah, it's a lot, but I guess they probably figured, hey, they could have just drafted Carroll's. And I'm glad Calgary's got him because they really need him. That's like their back end's kind of forming out for the next 10 years or more, 15 years, right? With Nemec and Carrolls and White Cloud is a younger guy. So, yeah, I mean, I'm happy with that. But, the fourth pick looks like a lot. And I think that Buffalo could have tried to go for Hellebuck, I think, at the draft, which would have been super, like the crowd would have gone nuts. Like, oh my God, we traded the fourth for Hellebuck. And I think that Cheveldayoff might be slightly overvaluing that. And if you look at, yeah, the guy's going to the Hall of Fame. He's probably one of like the best or one of the best goalies in the league right now. But he's 33, right? So it's like, it's just sad because goalies just aren't they're valuable when you need them. It's like on the buyer side, they're so freaking valuable if you need them. But you got to find that team, and there's usually only a couple teams. A lot of teams like have goalies, have prospects. It's just like you're dealing with one or two teams that are like at an absolute shortage of goalies, and do they have the assets and stuff that you desire to make that trade? And on the seller side, like just recently for the Sharks, Blackie went for second round pick, and then they turned him into, I think, was that Selene Wallenius or something? Anyways, they turned him into a great prospect. But, on the sell side, if you want to move on from a guy, like if Hellebuck wants to move on, I think they should just try to grab some team that's like, you know, trade like, and he won't even go to a bad team that's going to deliver you. That's why I just think that fourth overall pick would have been ideal for them to take. It would have been so good to trade him to Buffalo. Anyways, I got Bob going to Buffalo. That's all in the past. Hellebuck will probably end up staying with the team for a couple more years. And like I said, if he ends up wanting to go to San Jose at the trade deadline, probably involves Askarov and then maybe a prospect like they want center depth. Maybe it's like a guy like Beestead or Cole McKinney or something. Um, yeah, who knows, right? It could be one of those guys down the middle. Yeah, anyways, that's it for me. Have a great summer, everybody. Peace.